Let me say something that might hit close to home. A lot of first responders feel like they can't afford to buy a house. They're irresponsible, not because they don't work hard, but because no matter how much they work, it still feels like home ownership is out of reach. And that's something that's just frustrating, especially when you're thinking, I've got a steady job, I make decent money, I put in overtime, and I've been doing this for years. So why does it still feel impossible? Today, I'm going to break it down why that feeling exists and how more than ever it's important to understand why that's not the full story. It does not have to be your story. All right. First responders have something most people don't: stable income. Now, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. You have a constant paycheck, you have union protection, you have long term security. On paper, that should make buying a house super easy, easier. And it does. But here's the reality: I see it all the time. Stable income doesn't always equal flexible income. And that's where the problem starts. A lot of first responders earn good money, but your income is structured differently. You may rely on overtime, night shift differentials, extra tours. And here's the part nobody explains clearly: not all of that income is treated the exact same when you're getting qualified for a mortgage. Some of it needs history, some of it needs consistency, or it just isn't fully counted yet. So you feel like I'm making more money than this, right? Why am I only a pre-approved for this? But the system sees something different, slightly different. That creates a gap between what you feel like you earn and what you can actually use to qualify. That in between is a gap that I'm going to fix. There's another problem or another pattern I see a lot with first responders, and it makes complete sense. You work hard, you take long shifts, it's stressful, and you have real responsibility. First responders, you have real responsibility. You're going to jobs that are crazy. So naturally, when your income increases, you reward yourself. Now, that might look like a better car, helping out your family, upgrading your lifestyle, catching up on things you couldn't afford before, taking more vacations. But it's not wrong, right? I don't want you to be mad at me, but here's the thing: those decisions turn into a fixed monthly payment, and those payments quietly reduce the amount your ability to take on a mortgage. That's what I call the I deserve this trap. And it turns into I can't afford this trap. Not because you made bad decisions or bad choices, but because no one actually showed you how those small choices actually affect you in the long run. They affect your ability to buy a house. They hurt your buying power. This is where it gets frustrating. You compare yourself to friends buying homes, people online, other families, and you think, how are they doing this and I'm not? But what you don't see is their debt situation, their loan structure, their timing. So it feels like I'm so behind, you're behind. When in reality, you're just looking at the wrong measurements. Here's the truth: most first responders that I talk to are not far off. They're usually closer than they think. They just have to structure the loan correctly. Or they might be missing one or two things, one or two items, two key adjustments that make all the difference. But because no one's explaining how the system works, they assume they just can't afford a house. Or maybe I just can't afford it right now. And that assumption is what delays home ownership by years, not days, but by years. Once you understand all of this, everything changes for you and your family. You stop thinking, I need to make more money, and start thinking, how do I get into the position with the money I already have or the money I already make? And that shift is what makes all the difference, because buying a home isn't just about income, it's about structuring, timing, and understanding how how your situation is evaluated. If this video hit home for you and you're thinking, the next thing you need to do is if you've been thinking like, oh my God, yes, that's me. I need the next step. I need the next step. Make sure you subscribe. That's the next step. And then message me. Let me see how I can help you. But really, it's just about understanding how first responders position themselves to qualify even when they feel stuck. And that's something I break down in the next video. You're not behind. You're not doing anything wrong. You just haven't been shown how the system actually works. For someone in your position, first responders, your incomes are just different. And once you see that, everything changes, everything makes sense. And I can't wait to make you a homeowner this year.